Joining me live now is former White House Chief of Staff and now Bondi Partners consultant Mick Mulvaney. Mick, great to see you. There's a lot happening in the polls at the moment. We're looking at the swing states in particular. Who's gaining ground in places like Georgia, Arizona, North Carolina?
Laura, it really does depend on the day. I did an interview here in the United States yesterday, and Trump was winning in those states. And today there's polling data out that suggests that Kamala Harris is winning in the same states. So here's what we're seeing is that the race, as you and I have talked about for weeks now, is just extraordinarily tight. All of the polling, and Americans love their polls. Don't get me wrong. All of them are well within the margin of error. So there really is no momentum one way or the other. Kamala Harris is doing well on her favorability ratings. She's doing okay on her perceived ability to handle economic issues, but that's not translating into large changes in the voting population at this point. So if the election were today, it'd be that same coin toss we've talked about, and I think it might stay very, very close between now and November.
Can we just stick on the polls for a moment? Because there are so many polls. There are too many polls being published in America. Some aren't worth the paper they are written on, and they're just used to generate headlines. Which polls do you look at?
Well, first of all, I ignore the nationwide polls because,
Yeah.
as your viewers know, we don't elect them nationwide. But then I'll look to the names that you sort of heard again and again. So the New York Times poll is usually a pretty
Yeah.
good poll. The Washington Post poll is usually okay. The Financial Times does some decent polling in this country. The University of Michigan does some good polling. But again, you're right. My guess is that the best way, that the most interesting sort of development in the last couple of election cycles are the companies that average other companies' polls. So you get this rolling
Right.
average of polls. And believe it or not, when you look at that one, it's tied 50-50 right now. So there's not a lot of variety in the polls.
Yeah. What about a second debate with Trump? Now, Kamala has requested this. Trump said he won't do it. That's not going to happen, is it?
Well, I was on TV tonight here with some Democrats, and they said they think that Kamala Harris really wants to debate, and some Republicans said they thought that Trump did too. Listen, I don't rule it out. The race is so close that one of the other might get down to last week and say, okay, let's just do a debate. Right now, Harris says she wants it, and Trump says that he doesn't. I think either of those are liable to change between now and November. Keep in mind, that window for a debate closes probably about October 25th, maybe October 28th, which is currently the date that at least the Harris campaign is talking about. There's discussions about moving it away from one network towards a more right-leaning network. So it's still very much up in the air. I think anybody who tells you they know for sure what's going to happen on debates is simply making it up.